Hi, my name is Amy and I'm lead clinician at Strategies for Learning. And today I want to talk about how to use storybooks to help address anxiety in young kids, which is more relevant now than ever. And on the screen here are a few of my favorites, but I really want to focus today on one, Scaredy Squirrel by Mélanie Watt. This is a really fun book. It helps to address anxiety, and it also has some good executive functioning nuggets in there. So I'm going to use Epic today to read this. And I'm just going to go through and kind of share some of the conversations that I might have with a child as we're reading this together. It says that the age range is 4 to 7, but I find that I can read it with students a bit older than that. Once they get to upper elementary, it might start to be a little young for them. But I do read it throughout elementary levels. Okay. So, Scaredy Squirrel never leaves his nut tree. Right off the bat, this is very familiar to all of us. The students I've been reading this with lately have been like, hey, it's us. A lot of us are stuck inside in our homes. And this is because he's afraid of the unknown. And these are a few of the things that Scaredy Squirrel is afraid of. And here I tend to have a conversation with students about, okay, so which of these things make more sense that he's afraid of and which things make less sense? Like, it doesn't seem like he lives near the ocean, and yet he's afraid of sharks. Now, something that makes a little bit more sense that he's afraid of is bees, afraid of getting stung. Maybe he's allergic. But then we also talk about, well, whether it makes sense that he's afraid or it makes less sense, the fears feel real to Scaredy Squirrel. So kind of validating a child's own individual fears or concerns. So what he does is he stays where he is. He feels safe. And here are the advantages and disadvantages of never leaving his nut tree. So this is a really great way to introduce pro and con lists or other forms of evaluation for young kids. And here's what a typical week looks like for Scaredy Squirrel. Again, this might look very familiar to some of us. And here's his daily routine. So this is a really wonderful way to introduce or reinforce a lot of different concepts. Making a daily schedule, keeping a daily schedule, both analog and digital time, elapsed time, if your child is ready for that. So, okay, you know, how long does he look at the view at 12:30? And so then the student would have to look at different times and try to figure that out. And so Scaredy Squirrel is prepared. He has an emergency kit, and these are some of the things in it. This is a really great way to introduce emergency preparedness, planning, a number of different things. And this is his exit plan. So if your family has an emergency plan, this is a really great way to talk about that or review it. A lot of kids, when they get to this page lately, see him in the face mask and the gloves and are like, hey, it looks like us. So a lot of familiarity with what we're going through right now. And one day, Scaredy Squirrel finds a killer bee. He panics. It's his fear. It's right there in front of him. He drops his emergency preparedness kit. He tries to catch it. He falls. And spoiler alert, but Scaredy Squirrel is a flying squirrel. So he has come face to face with his fear, and he feels overjoyed, adventurous, carefree, alive. Sometimes students and I will have a conversation here about how sometimes when we face our fears or come face to face with a thing that's making us anxious, we actually respond pretty differently than we expected to. He lands in a bush and plays dead, realizes nothing horrible is going to happen, and so he goes home. And all of this just means that his new improved daily routine now includes jumping into the unknown once a day. So this might be a good way to frame some of our calculated risks that we are now taking or have been taking as far as going to the store, or going for walks, or maybe as things start to open back up again. This could help frame that. And that is the end of our story. the Scaredy Squirrel. And if you liked that story or your kids like Scaredy Squirrel, it's actually a series, so I would recommend checking out the other Scaredy Squirrel books. He's a really fun way to introduce or reinforce a lot of different concepts. Thanks for watching.